Oh, happy day, beautiful people. Today I am sitting with Proverbs 19, chapter 19, verse 21, which says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." It's Yan. Let's talk today. So, today I woke up and I had a bad dream. And I was talking to y'all the other day about bad dreams. And I was explaining how when we have dreams and they are instilling fear and doubt, or whatever the case may be, and it's going against God's word, then those dreams aren't from God. However, I will say that not every bad dream is, you know, doesn't have a lesson or something you could take away from it, right? So for me, I have been having these dreams where I'm around some type of danger, but I'm protected, right? And so I will say that, I would notice that in the dreams with that happening, I was being protected. Like nothing was happening to me. Like I would always just be covered or, whatever the case may be. So I was able to pull that, right? Like obviously, like I know for me because listen, y'all, I'm doing everything to try to die to my flesh. I'm doing everything to try to be more like God. I know for, one thing's for sure, two things for certain, I'm giving it to God every day. Like, and I'm even asking myself, even though I do it every day, how can I do more? Right. So I know that, that is something I took away from it. However, I will say after that, I was sitting there in my thoughts. And this is where, Proverbs 19:21 comes in at because I started thinking about my plans and everything else that I'm working on and where I should be at and what I should be doing. And of course, these are my plans, right? And as I started just further analyzing it even more, I just started to feel myself just kind of like beating myself up about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I am, this is where I'm at. Like, but what do I need to be doing? Like, I just started nitpicking things. Like, y'all know, or if you don't know, if you haven't been following me, I released a devotional that's called 31 May Reminders. And it's a like journal and devotional that you're supposed to be able to follow every single day for the month of May. I didn't get time to promote it. I didn't really get time to do anything because I was working on it literally up until the last week of April. And when I went to submit it, it got rejected multiple times because there was like some issue with something. The mail version of it is still not finished because it kept getting rejected. And so, as you can probably imagine, I started to just beat myself up about it. Like it felt like a waste. It felt like I invested this time into this and I had, the start of this year to do it and it's my fault why it did not get pushed in time. Like I knew that the process would take some time and if I would have been a little bit more detail and attention to detail and got it done and locked in, that wouldn't have happened. But that's just me beating myself up about it, right? That's just my plan. That's just how I thought it should go. But I mean, I'm so big on accountability, right? So it's like at the same time, like, yes, I could have prevented this. I know that the process with Amazon is ridiculous, like trying to upload a book. Like, I knew that. So, I was reminded that that there were rejections and it wasn't completely on me, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not giving myself a slap on the wrist about that. You know what I mean? Like this was just a conversation I was having, like um because I truly be feeling like there's really no excuse for real. Like, you're either making things happen or you're making excuses. There is no in between. um, so anyways, as the day started progressing and I started like sitting there just deep in thought, I just really started thinking about everything. And I was just like, I need to be working on this. I need to be doing this. Like, and then I talked about this in a previous video. I started like going even deeper. Like, I just don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Like, I just feel like I'm not getting anything. Like, things are just so dried up right now. Like, it just started to spiral out of control to the point that I just started crying. Like, and I mean, I even felt myself about to cry again about it because you really do be thinking like that these plans that you set out for yourself um are supposed to go the way that you're supposed to go, right? Like even today, right? Like let's just look at today. I talked about this in Navigating Life in Uncertainty, actually. I was like, we can plan the day by the hour and it still will never go as planned. Today did not go as planned. I had it in my head I was going to wake up, record this video. I had it in my head I was going to wake up and do this and do that. And then like it just led me to believe, like, am I distracted? Like what's distracting me from doing exactly what I say I'm going to do when I wake up? Like, and it's like I can sit there and say I'm distracted, but I could also sit there and think about the things that I said I was going to do instead and how I was feeling. Like I just wasn't feeling like myself. But let's take it back to the word, because that's one thing I always want to try to root myself in, is the word. And if I look at everything that I was walking through, everything that I was going through, these were my plans, right? And it didn't go as planned. Today was not a day that went as planned. These past couple of weeks haven't gone as planned. Nothing goes according to plan, because many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. So as I sit here and I make this video right now, I feel like I don't even know how to feel, to be honest. Like I still feel like, although I know that, I still feel like, what can I do? There's something else that I can do. You know what I mean? And that's just me being brutally honest. Like I just feel like there's more to be done. There's no excuse to be made. And I think sometimes you really do have to sit and do a reality check. And I think this is what I'm going to do, and something that you could even do as well. I think I'm really going to sit and really analyze and assess and write everything down that I need to do and need to work on, and really ask myself, like, is this in my control or is this not in my control? Because what we'll find is that oftentimes a lot of stuff is in our control, but a lot of stuff is also out of our control. So, for example, going back to the book, when I uploaded it and it got rejected, out of my control. But when I uploaded it, in my control. When I got it done, in my control. You know what I mean? So I think that's what has to happen. And then from here, I can start being better. But I think, again, going back to the word, I know that the Lord's purpose is ultimately more important than what my plan is. And each day I try to, like, ask his will to be done. And, not saying I do it every single day, but when I remember to, I'm like, Lord, let your will be done. And I wrote about this in Navigating Life in Uncertainty as well. And I explained how when you ask for God's will to be done, it's not going to look like what you want it to look like. And I'm just talking about, a day-to-day activities right now. But when you look at it from a bigger picture, of course, it's not going to look like how you thought it was going to look. You're not going to be exactly where you think you should be at. And so as I make this video, I think that if I could just leave you with anything, it's just to remember the word. You will still struggle sometimes. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I am struggling. It's not that I don't believe that, um, it's not that I don't believe God's word. I always believe God's word. I think right now I'm just battling against, is this really something that was in my control, or is this really something that was out of my control? And I think that's where I'm at. But I think it's a good practice, like I said, to sit and analyze, like, was this something that's just completely out of my control, or was it in my control? And I think what you'll find by putting together a list like that, when you have all of these plans in your heart and you're assessing whether they're in your control, I think you'll find, like, if there's a lot of things that are out of your control, you have to give that to God. But if you find that there's things in your control, you have to assess, what do I need to change? And so ultimately, I think that's the best thing, by putting together the list and really assessing, like, where the lack or the issue is coming in at, and then you can adjust accordingly, right? So, yeah. that'll be my message for today. And again, something I'm sitting with as well, but I just wanted to share it with y'all and be transparent about how I'm feeling about today, which like I said, I can't even say how I feel today because it just didn't go as planned today. And I have to assess whether these are things are in my control or whether they are outside of my control. And then from there, I have to make the necessary changes from there. So yeah, I can't believe it's 6 o'clock already. I'm so over today, y'all. I'm so over today. But nevertheless, that's all that I gotta say for today. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.